Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dev Lab. I know I'm a bit late with this one, but better late than never, right? So today's video will clear things up and give you a deeper dive into DOM manipulation. DOM manipulation is simply documents methods in JavaScript. So this is going to serve as a follow-up to our previous classes where we've covered the basics of JavaScript. So if you've been following along, this video will throw more light on what we've already learned. So we are going to look at various ways to interact with DOM using methods like getElementById, query selector, create element and more. So if you're ready to take your JavaScript skills to the next level, let's dive right in. So for this video, I'll be creating a HTML file to show you guys how the DOM manipulation works. So I'll be starting with getElementById. So let me just write this here. So yeah. Okay, so let's start by creating a header. Yeah, so that's how we create our header. Then let's write title hello one hello. So let's create an ID for it. Yeah, title. Yeah, so then we create a button. Then inside it on click. On click is for when you click on it in JavaScript. But you will be using it in JavaScript to change text. Yeah, then inside the button we write change in it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So for us to call our JavaScript, we have to write script. Yes. Then inside it we write function. Then the function is going to call change text. Then your curly braces. Then document dot get element by ID. Because what we called it, we use ID to for our H1. So that's why we're using get element by ID. So yeah, we're using get element by ID to select H1 element with the ID title. Yes, this method is great for selecting a single element in the DOM by its unique ID, which is title. So that is when we now open the brackets, call the ID name title. It's pretty much very easy. Then dot text content, because we're trying to get the content, that the text. So when you click it, then to change to new text, we'll be testing this in our on our browser. So yeah, this is pretty much everything. So inside this change text function, we modify the text content property of the selected element to change the text from hello to new text, and it will only change when the button is clicked. That's why we use on clicked. So let's test this now on our browser. So yeah, so as you can see here, when you click on it, it changes to a new text. You can see that. So that's pretty much how to do it. Change text, change. Yeah, So that's it. So next one we're going to be looking at is how to get elements by class name. Get elements by class. Yeah, so let's create a real life case on how to use it. We're going to be using it, so let's double it. So we're going to be giving it a class name. Let me show you guys an easier way of calling p tag. Just p dot, then the dot is to help you call it. Just for the dot is only if you want to call it a class. So example, yeah, as fast as that. So we're just going to be needing two, then one. Instead of our p tag, p it stands for paragraph. For those of you who don't know. So and this get element by class name is used to get select all elements with the specific class name, and we're using example for both of them, as you can notice that. So we're going to create a button for that, then on click. So let's just write it first. So red, because we want to change the paragraph to red text. So on click, yes, then make red, then your brackets. Yeah, so that's it. So we'll be calling our script tag, yeah, then function, then const. Let's call it items, cost documents, because we're looking at document by class name. What element by class name? Yes, as you can see the list of get elements, the ways you can get your element from HTML. So we're calling example because that is our class name. Then we're going to be calling our for off loop. Please, if you have not watched my other video on how to use loops, please go right now to check on it. So this is our for off loop. I think I didn't mention this for off loop in my other video. So this is pretty much how to write your for off loop. You put your for, then off. So item of items, item dot style, because that we want to change the color when it's clicked. Equals to red. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's look at our code again. So first, we created a class ap tag example one, then two. So in the make red function, in this make red function, we get all elements to the class and then loop through them using a for off loop right over here. Inside the loop, we change the style dot color to red for every time. So when we click the button, both of these paragraphs will turn red. That's what we're expecting, as the get element by class name method select all elements with the specified class. And as you can see here, we're using the same class name and we call this here in our JavaScript. So let me just comment this here so it won't interrupt our practice. So let's try that. Yeah, see. So it works. So anytime you refresh and click on red text, it changes. So which means our code is working. Yeah, so that's for the get element by class name. So next one we're going to be looking at is query selector. This method is this query selector is like it's more of a general purpose selector and can be used to select an element based on CSS selector. So let's put that to practice. Let me write this query selector in a bracket. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, so let me create a p tag p dot example. Create it two times. So first, let's name this one hello, then hi, then your button. Let's create a button for it. So button. Oh, okay. Let's put bold first, then on click. We'll be naming it bold first, then your bracket. So in this example, let me just explain what I've written so far. In this example, I'm using this example, the example to select the p tag with the class name example. Yeah, and then I change the font width to bold. So let's call our script tag, then function. You call your bold first because that's the name. Then your brackets. So documents dot query selector in your brackets dot example. Then your dot style dot font width. But if it was for color, we'll call it dot style dot color font width. Then equals to bold. So yeah, that's it. So let's test that bold. So now, as you can see, it's only selected the first one. This method only selects the first matching element, and the first matching element is hello. So that's why he only made this one bold. So when you click the button bold first, so when you click the button, only the first paragraph will be bolded, as you can see right here. So yeah, which means our query selector works. So next one I'm going to be looking at is query selector all. Hope you're enjoying this class. Query selector all. Let's create this one. We're going to be calling list tag. So yeah, item, item. So let's create a button for that. Now this method is similar to this to query selector, but it returns all matching elements in a node list. This one, query select only applies for first for only one, but this one takes everything. So let's create a button for that. Then now button make blue. So on click, so blue list, blue list. Okay, so let's call our script tag. So I'm selecting all the li tags and using for each. So let me create a function for that. Then the blue list. So documents dot query selector all. Don't forget your dots. So we're calling li and your for each. The for each method is to help through each one. So that's why we're using for each to get both of them. Then your bracket item, then your arrow function. So item dot style because we're changing it to color, so we're going to use color. Yeah, color and equals to blue. So yeah, that's it. So when we click the button, both items in the list will turn blue. So yeah, as you can see here, both of them turn blue. So yeah, that's how it works. So the next one I'm going to be looking at is create element. So the create elements. So let's create a div tag. Div, yeah. So div is a container. So the ID container. So in our div, do not have anything here yet. You just give it an ID. So then your button, in your button you have add paragraph. Then you call it on click, then add para. Yeah. Then you create your script tag. You call your function add para. Then let's create a variable p. Then inside the p we call our document create element. Create element, then you call your p. So the text content in p is now the new paragraph that we're going to be having. We're going to be because we want to be creating new paragraphs anytime you click on it. So new paragraph. Then you call your document get element by id because we use id for our div. Then your container, that's append child. So yeah, now so this create element method allows you to dynamically create new HTML elements in JavaScript. So that's it's just anything something that you can also do in Java in HTML. This create element just helps you to do it in JavaScript. So in this add para function right here, we create a new p tag set and we set it to this thing, we set it to text content. Yes, as you can see here, set it to text content and then append it to a container. So when you click the button, when you click this button right here, a new paragraph will be added and it will be showing you new paragraph because that's what we wrote here. So new paragraph. So this is very great. This is a great way to add elements to the document method dynamically without needing to write HTML manually. So this also works. That's what create element does. So next one we're going to be looking at is append child. Append child is append child is used to add a new child element to an existing parent element. So let's test that. Let's see how it works. So yeah, that's it. So append child. So let's create a UL ID. So let me over all this quickly. Then list. So you need to create a list li. Then in the list we call it item one. So the UL element should present a list of items where the order of items is not important. That is where changing the order would not materially change the meaning of the document. So yeah. So let's create a button for this. If you need more clarification, you can hover on some properties to get more info about them. I have item and click, then add the item, and your function add item. So be calling const li, then your document create element, create element li. So the text content in li now become item two. So using get element by id, get element by id list. That's what we called it in our HTML list. So there dot append child. So let me quickly explain how this works. As I said earlier, append child is used to add a new child element to an existing element. So this one is adding this one, is adding it to the parent element which is over here. So in this example, we're adding a new li item to the list when the button is clicked. The add item which is over here, the add item function creates a new list. As you can see here, create a new list, set the list to item 2, which we did here. We set it to item 2 and then appends it to the existing UL. Is appending it to this one here. So after we click this button, a new item is added, item 2. Keeps on adding it, is appending it to the parent elements. So yeah, that's it for append child. So I think this is where we'll round up for today. So that's it for DOM methods. There are a lot more of them. You can practice them in your leisure time. So in this video, we've covered various ways to interact with and manipulate the DOM in JavaScript, from selecting elements with getElementById to dynamically creating new elements with createElements over here. These are all tools you need to start building more interactive web applications. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our future tutorials. If you have any questions or need further clarification, leave them in the comments below. Thank you and have a nice day.